morning, Carl Bogart here with Historic Military Impressions, your premier provider of museum quality exhibits to add value to public events. Well, as you can see from the background, we're still in the process of setting up our The Brits Are Coming exhibit. That is an exhibit of World War II British uniforms, weapons, and equipment that will open here at our facility in Kenosha, Wisconsin, October 7th and run until January 6th. But today, I decided I would do a short little video on our M-18 Claymore mine. One of the pieces we get a lot of interest from our Vietnam exhibits that we were doing over the summer. A lot of kids and a lot of people ask, why is it bent the way it's bent? Initially, when the M-18 Claymore mines came out, and we have an example here of a blue trainer, and we have an example here of an actual M-18 that was made inert. In other words, they took out the explosives. You could hear some BBs and stuff still in it. The trainers are M33s, so this one has been stamped as it's been redone. Initially, when they were created, they were actually originally more flat. They were almost completely flat, and they expected you from the ridges on the top and the bottom to be able to feel what was the front. And if you ever look, and believe it or not, a lot of people are surprised when I show them to them, there's actually two arrows on the top here that were basically, you would feel and say, okay, this is the front, this is the back. And initially, the front towards the enemy wasn't raised as it is on the later ones. It was stamped with black ink. So at night, if you were in a hurry, a lot of times they would get turned around and put in backwards. So part of the way they changed that was to basically raise up the front towards the enemy. You could still feel the arrows, and then you could feel the back on the back of it as well, to try to make it where the bow goes towards the enemy. Now, during the Vietnam War and during our exhibits, we get a lot of veterans that share with us their experiences using the M-18s. They all seem to like it. They all talk about how every now and then they would break them open. They would take the C4 out to cook on, which you could do. It burned clean and burned well, but the problem is you had to let it burn until it stopped burning. If you tried to put it out by like stepping on it or something, that percussion would cause the C4 to explode and take your foot off. So cooking with it was done, but wasn't wise. However, a lot of times when these would be set up in front of them, if they were being overrun in a defensive position, you'd have the M50 detonator, the M40 test device, and you'd run out your cord back to your firing position. The Viet Cong would send out people before they would attack, and they'd have the intent to basically to turn them around, just pull them out of the ground, flip it, stick it right back in the ground carefully, so that when they were charging an American position and you detonated it, the BBs would come flying back towards you instead of going towards the enemy or towards the Viet Cong or the NVA. Initially, they were a little bit thinner, and they had 700 BBs in them, whereas the later ones have 500 BBs in them in front of the C4, so they all get pushed out in one direction. Some of the cool things we've had veterans share with us is, we've had people tell us that they put aluminum foil on the back, they painted the backs white, they painted the backs red, they put reflective tape on the back of it, like the type of stuff you would see on a stop sign. They would sometimes they had stuff that would glow in the dark on the back, because they learned that they had to, before they could actually set it off, you would have to basically look out in front of you real quick and make certain that it was turned around or wasn't turned around and facing back towards you before you detonated it. Now, obviously, to detonate it, you would take the M50 detonator hooked to the wire, and you just basically click it 3 times real quick. It would send out the electrical charge, and it would set off the mine, sending out 500 BBs in front of you. Like I said, this example here, my son's currently in the store, the blue trainer, and then our example, I was lucky enough to find one that has a nerd on it, a blue stripe, that it was basically, this one was at one point an actual real Claymore mine. In the back, they put the blue stripe with practice, stamped inert on the sides of it as well, and then carefully milled off with some M-18, and they stamped on it M-33. So like I said, one of the items that we have when we do our Vietnam exhibit, as of right now, our 2023 traveling season has ended. We're looking forward to the Suffrage Air Museum has invited us to come back with our Vietnam exhibit the weekend before May or Memorial Day next May to do the Vietnam exhibit again. And then Memorial Day, we will be going back for year 3 for the Pier Days for Memorial Day weekend. But this year we'll be doing, for our first time, we plan to do our Hiding in Plain Sight, the full integration, a history of women in warfare exhibit. And for now, if you're looking, if you like World War II British stuff, this exhibit you see behind me will open up October 7th, run to January 6th. If you're interested in reenacting, we do have a British unit, number 10 Commando, 3rd Troop, that at one point at its height, we used to have 25 members. A lot of them have aged out, have moved on to other things, moved away. So right now, it's kind of really just me and my son Elijah, who's 20. We would like to, if you're interested in reenacting a British unit that happens to also be Germans, Austrians, and Eastern Europeans that were fighting for the British government as a commandos, let us know. Come on in, check out the exhibit, talk to us. We are looking to grow the unit again. We'd like to get it bigger, make it have a little bit more fun. So this is Carl Bogar signing off for Historic Military Impressions. Again, your premier provider of museum quality exhibits designed to add value to public events. Or if you're looking for anything for a speaking engagement in a library or something, please let us know, contact me. Until next time, have a great day.